Psalm 145 verses 10 to 11, and 15 to 18. The hand of the Lord feeds us, He answers all our needs. Let all your works give you thanks, O Lord, and let your faithful ones bless you. Let them discourse, speak of the glory of your kingdom and speak of your might. The eyes of all look hopefully to you, and you give them their food in due season. You open your hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. The Lord is just in all His ways and holy in all His works. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him, to all who call upon Him in truth. The goodness of God can be seen in all things and situations. It's difficult for us to understand God's hand in certain life-changing circumstances. God takes care of the rich and famous, as well as the poor and everyone in between. When our sins overcome us, when our enemies join Satan in his effort to destroy us, God is there as our support. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13, No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and He will not let you be tempted beyond your strength, but with the temptation will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. I can remember a time when people sealed an agreement with a handshake. I can remember a time when a couple stood in a church and vowed to remain married until death do we part. I can remember a time when a person ran for an elected office and made promises they kept. Over the years I have seen society slowly change from one of trust to distrust, from one of faithfulness to unfaithfulness. What happened? We now have contracts because we no longer trust a handshake, because we have been cheated by untrustworthy people, and now we need contracts to protect ourselves against loss. Now people sign prenuptial agreements because we know on average the marriage vow is only good for 8 years before the divorce. We find it difficult to vote for politicians who claim they support a Christian value when speaking to a Christian group, but reverse that same position when speaking to a non-Christian group. In this psalm we see David turning to the Lord in a hymn of praise because David recognizes that God is totally good to all, and compassionate to every creature. He speaks of God's endless kindness, and His providing for all, not just the Israelites but for all people. Our lives should be looking forward to praising God forever and ever, in our heavenly home. We don't have to worry that God will not honor His covenants, which are made up of God's vows to all, and His promises to maintain His honesty and remain trustworthy. He has demonstrated those traits since the beginning of time. God cares. Cast all your cares on Him because He cares for you. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7.